Stop chasing, okay? In this video, I'm going to show you guys a setup that I think could make your bank go that way, okay? I'm going to break down exactly what I'm seeing, what you need to watch for and wait for, where you should enter, and where you should take profits. I'm going to make this very simple, okay? I do this every day on my live, but I wanted to make a static video so that it's here, so that it's proof, so that you can see how we get down over here on this side of YouTube. All right, I want you to understand that a lot of profits is in taking simple action. There's a lot of simple little actions that we can take while trading that we either ignore or we're just unaware of that could be preventing us from making tons of money. Okay, I'm going to get into that in the video. Before I jump into that, y'all know what I need y'all to do. Hit that like button for me one time, okay? If the videos that I put out have been helpful, hit the subscribe button too. You don't want to miss another one. All right, again, I go live every day, Monday through Friday from 11:30 a.m. Pacific to about 1 p.m., right? Usually about an hour and a half, sometimes about an hour, depends on the day. All right? So make sure that you got the notifications cut on so that you never miss any of those, all right? I'm not even sure if y'all can hear this, but it's like crazy sirens in the background right now. I don't even know what's going on. But we're going to keep rolling with the video. All right, so I'm going to jump over to the charts in just a second and show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right, let's get to it. All right, y'all. So I have Microsoft pulled up. All right, and I cannot stress this enough. I say this. I might say this every day on my live. If you want to live and you hear me say this every day, right? The trend line is the friend line. I strongly recommend any trading that you're doing to always keep a trend line present. I'm going to show you a couple of examples in this video. But the reason that keeping a trend line present is because it keeps you abreast of the rejections or even the bounces, right? When it seems random. Sometimes when we don't have trend lines on, right, and we might have indicators or whatever, we might see something bouncing at a random point, but we can't quite understand why. The trend line is something that is keeping a trend intact, right? I call it the friend line because I believe when you have it on, it acts as a friend. It lets you know, like, where we going, right? It's telling you what, it's like, yo, no, the party over here. All right, we going over there. All right, it's going to let you know. All right, so everybody in my group, they call it the friend line. All right, so you want to make sure that you have this on. Now, looking at this, I see that there has been a downward trend for quite some time, right? We talking about, back into early January. But if we go back even further and we can, we condense this just a little bit, we'll see that Microsoft has been coming down for quite some time. We're talking about, way back dating to November. Now, we had some consolidation between November and December and even early January. And then we saw a nice dump, during January. So why is this important? It's important because for a while we've been coming down, all right? And when you've been coming down for a while, what it does is it presents the biggest opportunity, all right? Now, this is one of my favorite movies, and I like to use this as an example of when something has taken a long time in a particular direction, right? Nothing lasts forever, and at some point, something is going to retreat, turn around, reject, bounce, whatever. It's going to hit some sort of reverse. It's going to do something. It's going to make a decision. Nothing just goes like straight forever. All right. I can't think of anything in nature that does that. All right. So Forrest Gump. All right. One of my favorite movies. I like it because it blends every genre into one movie, and you literally like laugh, cry. You see the action, like. It's so much going on in there, right? Really good. It's some people in this world that don't think it's a great movie. I don't understand why, but I loved it. All right, so Forrest Gump, you remember when he went out on that run, he was like, one day I just felt like running. And he just left his house, in his I think they call them Nike Cortez on the West Coast, right? But the Forrest Gumps, he literally just decided to just one day get up and start running. And he ran. And ran, even grew a beard, even picked up some friends along the way, even provided some business insight to, to people along the way, right? And then one day he was just like, you know what, like, I'm going back. And he turned around and he started going back. So nothing goes in a direction forever. At some point, it's going to hit the Forrest Gump and it's going to turn around and go back. So we've been coming down. The trend line helps you determine when we're going to turn around and go back. All right, we've been coming down. The stock market is designed to go up. So if there's a good company or if it's an index, it's designed to go up over time. So when something is coming down for a substantial period of time and that company is still a solid company, then you can pretty much bank on the fact that at some point it's going to reverse and it's going to go back up. The trend line, again, lets us know that. So with this beautiful setup, we have a close above the trend line. Now, what we're waiting for is just a confirmation candle that takes us above this candlestick right here. That is at the point of rejection, the last point of rejection on the trend line, which is sitting at about 405, right? Or I'm sorry, 408.50. So if we can get a close above 408.50, then this particular stock can really be a go to the upside. Now, it's technically already a go because we have gotten a close outside of it. But the reason that I wouldn't recommend entering right away, or that we didn't enter right away on the call, is because it was getting a rejection off of this fair value gap right here. Again, y'all, if you do not have fair value gaps on your chart, do yourself a favor and you can go get one, right? Come up here to the indicator tab in Trading View and add fair value gap by Nephew Sam. I also want you guys to put these order blocks on your chart, okay? When you put these order blocks on your chart, they're going to help a lot with buying decisions, okay? What is an order block? Really simple. I have a whole video on it, but just a simple recap. An order block is where institutions tend to make decisions. So if you see a red order block, this typically means that the institutions are selling off, right? That's smart money. You want to follow smart money. Down here, you see a green order block. This is a bullish order block. This would be the point in which institutions would be thinking that the price is too cheap and they want to scoop it up and they want to purchase. Okay, so what does that mean in the interim? We can use these as places to enter, and we can also use these as places to exit. So when we do get that close above the 408.50, we're going to be like, you know what? Maybe a good target is up to this fair value gap. And if it can continue through the fair value gap, we can take it all the way up to the start of this bearish order block. Why are we getting out right here? Because like I said, this is where institutions are like, this stock is a little too expensive right now. So they're going to start selling off here. So that would be a good place for us to take profits, but having already gotten into the play way down here. So we'll be up 80 to 100% by this time, sell off, and then we'll wait until this bearish order block is breached for it to then come up and fill the rest of this fair value gap. Now, if you don't have these indicators on your chart, you wouldn't be able to really put these plays together like that, right? You wouldn't really be able to, level to level understand exactly when to get in, when to get out, or how price action is responding in these areas. Fair value gaps, order blocks are where decisions are made, right? And when something crosses into a fair value gap, you can say, okay, well, it's not rejecting. It may want to come and start closing it. If something is rejecting at an order block and it gets a confirmation, it's like, hey, we've had enough attempts at this particular bearish order block. This wants to come down. All right. So it's important to have this stuff on there and just go and look at your charts, pay attention, see through observation. I think that's the best way to back test, is just to manually go through how something responds. We can talk about statistics and all of that stuff all day, but the easiest way to see how a stock responds is to literally see how the stock responds. Look at what it does off of order blocks. When you turn that order blocks and the fair value gaps on, look at how the market behaves around it. Look at it in various stocks to see how it behaves. All right. So again, this is above 408.50. We're going to be looking to get into calls. I also got to say this. I'm a guy on the internet, right? I'm right a lot of the time, but I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not giving you financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor. All right. This is for entertainment purposes only. All right. So anything that you decide to take from anything that I say, you're taking it with your own brain. You're doing your own research and your own due diligence and homework, not taking it just because I'm saying it. Okay. Want to get that out the way. All right. Now let's jump over to another scenario of this trend line that I'm talking about that really helps out. All right. You guys know O2 well. We made so much cash in Netflix. And how did we make so much cash? Well, just go back and watch some of the videos. I've been talking about it for a while, right? This trend line. We saw it was in the downtrend line for months. When it finally broke out, what did? We entered and we took it up all the way, right? In equities and in options plays. 300%, some people made 500, 600%, right? People made, 24% just in equities alone. All right, beautiful play. Again, I cannot stress enough how important it is to have these trend lines on. All right, again, so Microsoft, again, that play is brewing right now. It's in the process of getting to where it needs to get to. Market is currently closed, but when it opens back up, we'll see, how things fare on Thursday. But again, once we get over that 408.50, it's a go. This is a very similar setup to what we just saw in Netflix. We could see Microsoft skyrocket. All right, we know Microsoft is a solid company, and anytime we can get it for this price is a really good situation. I hope this video was helpful for you. I hope it just helped you learn one more thing to push you a little closer on your journey to becoming a solid, profitable trader, okay? We cannot underestimate the simplicity of a trend line being drawn in the midst of our trading strategy. It's going to help keep us focused, right? It's going to help keep us abreast of what's going on in the market. Put that trend line on. It's going to get you paid. Let me know how it works out for you. If this video was helpful, say something in the comments. Don't keep it to yourself. Help me get out into the algorithm. I got too much sauce. There's no reason that these numbers should be on the screen with all of the solid plays that I've given out on this channel for free. All right, let's do it. I appreciate y'all. It's always love over here. Remember, invest smart so that you can live free. I'll see you in the next one.